There was a game called Elastics.
Okay.
I remember it because everyone wanted to be really good at elastics, and it was literally a stretch of the sort of elastic that you would put in like elasticized pants.
Yeah.
And you would stand there. It was either in 2s or 3s, and there were all these patterns that you had to do by jumping over
Oh yeah,
the elastics.
we used to
Do you remember
that
that?
as well? Yeah.
And it used to start off quite easy, so it would be around people's ankles, and then once you did the whole circuit, once you completed all of that, it would move up to your knees and then move up to there.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that. I remember marbles, definitely, because at one point I set up my own little marble alley, and it was all about precision, but there was almost like, it wasn't like there was a governing body, but people would work out if you were cheating them, like if you were making your marble alley more difficult to win at. So some people would do slightly longer ones, which would make it more difficult for the marbles to be hit at the end. Some people would slightly push the marble in so that even if you hit it, it couldn't move, because they just kind of cushioned it. And so kind of word would get around, don't go and play in that marble alley, because that person, obviously is cheating.
So what kind of marbles was it then? So you have a lane, and then the object is to... how do you start off?
So you would... so everyone would walk along there, and you would have your own little marble alley that you would kind of... It would be sand, so it would be easier. So we would go along that way. So you'd kind of scrape it out, and then here would be the marble.
Okay.
And the bigger the marble...
one marble at the end.
And the bigger the marble, the more it was coveted, because you wanted a big marble.
Sure.
Lots of people had small marbles, but the big marbles was what you wanted, and they would kind of come down that end and then just flick and just try and get. And if they hit the marble out of where it was placed, then they would get to keep the marble.
Okay.
But if they didn't hit it, you got to keep their marbles.
Right. Okay. So it's like you have one go essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. And there were kids who were really good at it. They could just really flick the marble really hard and hit the thing at the other end. But that's why some kids cheated, because they would just slightly push the big marbles in, because everyone wanted the big marbles, so it would attract. If you had a big marble, it would attract everybody else, and they would try and win it off you.
Yeah.
The other thing was swap cards. I mean, just remembered. Remember swap cards where you would have pictures that you were trying to collect the whole set.
Yeah.
And so you'd sort of swap these cards. I remember Planet of the Apes was really big at that stage, and you used to get the swap cards in packets of gum. Like, so you get bubble gum, but the cards would be inside it.
Right.
And then you would try and swap them with other people, so you would try and get the whole set.
Yeah.
And there were some cards that were more difficult to get again, so they would be worth. So if you had one of, I don't know, a character that nobody had, you could swap 3 cards for that one card.
Yeah, right. So it was like a made up kind of currency.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So they all came in bubble gum packs, or
yeah. You had to buy them. So the bubble gum was only just one strip of gum, but the cards were full-size cards. So I think you got 3 or 4 full-size cards and one strip of gum.
Yeah.
And you would change, and you would swap it. You would swap them with each.